Hi guys, hope you're all well. I'm doing a range test today, an urban range test on this radio, which is the Helida, I think. Helida CP UV2000. Very similar to the sort of Wuxton UV8D type radios. So I'm going to be testing this on UHF in an urban environment. So what I'll do is I'll stop at 6 locations, spanning a 3-mile journey, line of sight from my home QTH. And we'll transmit back to the receiving radio at home and see how well this thing does in an urban area. Now, it's not a scientific test, so don't take it seriously. Obviously, your environment's going to be different to mine. I'm in quite a built-up area, so it's basically just to see if this radio works for me, and if this radio works in roughly a 3 or 4 mile urban zone, which is the best you can ask for in in a handheld radio. So we're at the first location here now, so I'm going to transmit in a second back to my receiving radio at home, which is an ICOM ID5100 with a Diamond, I want to say X300, but I'm not certain. You'll see it, I'll pop a clip in anyway. We're going to transmit to that, see how well the radio picks up, and then we'll move on to the next location and so on. And the idea is that we'll just cover 6 locations and see how well it does. So here we go. We'll transmit back and see how we go. And this is a range test of the Helida CP UV2000 at half a mile. A range test of the Helida CP UV2000 at half a mile. Over.
This is a range test of the Helida CP UV2000 at half a mile. A range test of the Helida CP UV2000 at half a mile. Over.
Okay, so we'll move on to the second location and so on, and we'll see how this radio plays up. Cheers. Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1 mile. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1 mile. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1 mile. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1 mile. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1.5 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1.5 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1.5 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 1.5 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2.5 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2.5 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2.5 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 2.5 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 3 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 3 miles. Over.
Okay, this is a test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 3 miles. A test of the Helida CP UV2000 at 3 miles. Over.
Okay, so not a bad result there at all, really. I'll just show you the setup we were using to receive these transmissions with. So the radio you can see here is an ICOM 5100, and the antenna that was used to receive the signals was the larger of the 2 antennas here. So quite a good range test there. It seemed to hold out over the full 3 miles. So thanks for watching. Give us a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and drop any comments in the box below, and we'll catch you further down. 7-3 for now.